Ready?
hmm
All right. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the first episode of Just Another Sports Podcast. My name is Ben. We have Carrie and Anthony here. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of sport, everything sports.
Good,
We'll do a
good.
quick introduction
Yes,
for the
sir.
first episode. I'm Anthony.
Yep.
Uh, all Philly teams. We're a sports podcast, so y'all need to know about me. My teams: Phillies, Sixers, Eagles, Flyers. Loyal to the Gators, though, in Gainesville, of course. What
Oh,
about you,
yeah.
Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Kerry. My teams are all New Orleans, Pelicans, Saints, and then for the MLB, Houston Astros, and then loyal to LSU for football and basketball, and then Clemson football too on there.
Yep. I'm
What
Ben.
about you,
My
Ben?
teams are the Jaguars, Bulls, and my Cubs. And also loyal to Florida in every sport. Oh, yeah.
All right, all right.
Real quick, before we even get
All
into
All
it,
right.
right,
man,
Ben, you want to
how y'all
introduce the
feeling?
first topic?
Oh, before we get into it, how y'all doing, man? How y'all
Feeling?
feeling? I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, me
Chilling,
too,
bro.
man. Excited about
Big
this.
Christmas
Oh,
break,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Locked
Christmas
in.
break, starting up the
Locked in.
podcast. Hopefully, some of y'all
Yep.
watch it. Somebody, one person out there. We're excited to do this.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
Right. Hey, man, it's episode
You
one. We'll
ready?
get into it.
All
All
right.
right, Ben, get us going.
All right. So first order of business is Tommy fucking DeVito. How are we feeling about this dude? Is he the future of the New York Football Giants?
All right, first,
He's
let me
fun.
start this here. Let me start this here. Look, man, for
Hmm.
those of you who listen, even if it's like one of y'all, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a hater. I'm born a hater. No, he is not the future, and
Okay.
that's not even me hating. That's not me hating. He is not the future. They won on prime time. My man threw for like
I don't know.
150. I'll let y'all go
Hey,
before
a
I
win's a
go.
win,
Hey,
Y'all say
man.
your
game winner
piece.
though.
Say y'all's piece.
I
All right,
feel
though. I
like
mean, you got it, Ben.
I feel like next year it's definitely gonna be a competition between him and Daniel Jones because I pay Daniel. How much is he getting paid? Like 240
A lot
something.
of them, a lot of
A
Yeah,
money.
lot of
it's definitely gonna be a competition. I'm assuming next year when Daniel Jones starts to struggle, there's gonna be a lot of where's DeVito at type stuff.
Yeah,
Do you think he's might turn into Gardner Minshew, where he's just the spot starter that gives fans hope
I
in this
agree.
new evolution of backup QBs that seem to be good? There were a
Yeah,
lot of those this year.
I mean, we've seen this story so many times with like Taylor Heineke
Yeah,
and who you just said. Who'd you just say who's the Gardner Minshew, where
yeah,
like
Gardner
guys coming
Minshew.
in, they're just kind of like a bottle rocket and then they flame out, and he'll probably end up being a solid career backup. But
Yeah,
we know who
right.
Daniel Jones is at this point. He's maybe average, maybe slightly
maybe
above average, depending on the game. So I
20 to
mean,
15
they're
of
going to
those
be drafting
rankings.
a quarterback in these next few years for sure. They got a good
Yeah,
coach, though. Dable's going to figure it out eventually. They give him time.
but what happens, you
Right.
think, if they sneak in somehow to the playoffs?
They're not sneaking in,
Uh,
bro. Let me stop you there.
who they lose?
Look,
Yeah.
it's cool. They got 3 wins as DeVito's a starter. They're doing this now. They're doing it. Like Harry said, we've seen this. We saw this two
Oh yeah,
weeks ago with Josh Dobbs. He's the pastronaut. Everyone loves him. And then 4 interceptions one game. Next game he gets benched. So we've seen this story before. I don't
wait,
have my hopes up that high. It's been fun. It's been cool. No, they're not going to make the playoffs. No, I don't think he's going to be the starter next year. But I'm enjoying it though. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
their
That's just
remaining
Dude,
my.
schedule is
while Ben's
hold
found
on.
the remaining schedule, the Italian shit is hilarious, though. His
Bro,
agent,
his
Oh my
agent though,
goodness,
that is
that was
amazing.
just
bro!
like
His
straight
agent.
from a movie, bro.
That's what I expected him to look like. He's in the crowd, has the hat
Exactly.
on,
I'm not
kissing
gonna lie, as a
pops on the
Saints
cheek.
fan, I
All
know
right.
Tommy DeVito is throwing for 303 touchdowns next week. And we're
Hmm.
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
Okay.
crying with Derek Carr.
right,
100%.
man.
So yeah, they play
But
the
once
Saints
Jameis
next
first.
week.
Oh yeah, let me hear this.
Oh, that would be a movie.
Jameis
So,
versus Tommy DeVito would be legendary ball.
so yeah, the Saints and then the Eagles on Monday night on Christmas Day. Probably lose that game. Then they play the Rams. And
It's a
I
toss
would
up.
say week 18, Jalen Hurts probably is getting rested. Like AJ Brown too. A
No,
lot
I
of your
don't
stars are
think so,
rested.
because
It's
they're
in New York,
Nah,
and they have a lot to
we
play
might be
for. They
fighting
could
for
maybe.
the Eagles might be fighting for the division at that
it's
point.
Also, though, it's a three-way tie for first place. Only one team gets that first round bye. So, I mean, Eagles got to try to win
Yeah,
out, bro. Because somebody's going to get that first round bye. And, like, it's really whoever gets that bye is almost always in that conference championship game. So,
yeah.
Right. And
I
also,
still
we're
think
gonna be
there's
like
whoever's
no one in
we're gonna
this
be
league
fighting
that can
to
beat the
win the division.
Niners. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
If
never
you and the
want to lose to the
Cowboys
Cowboys.
do finish with the same record, is it who gets the tiebreaker? Because y'all split.
Dallas.
Uh, yeah,
Dallas, okay.
isn't it based on like point differential or something?
Yeah,
I
Dallas will
think
get it.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but whoever gets second in that division is going to pretty much get a first round bye because they're going to play the winner of the NFC South. So about to
Baker
Yeah.
have Dak
Mayfield.
Prescott throw for 400 against the Falcons.
Oh
Something.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but DeVito's been cool. It's been fun to watch. But am I buying into it? No.
Okay. All right.
All right, Ben. Who else
So
we
next
got?
order is there's been a lot of talk recently throughout the season. What is better, the NFL or college football? I'm a huge believer that college football laps the NFL more times than
Ah,
not.
Lord.
What are y'all's takes on it?
Laps? Wait, hold on.
The
Since
league, man.
laps,
Yes.
The league, man.
like
Yes.
you think it's significantly better. All right,
Yes.
Carrie, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first because
Bro, it's just like the NFL, it's just a better product. Just the variation of play calling in general. It's just when you watch a college football game, dude, they don't even line up under center ever anymore. It's just everything from
Mhm.
shotgun. It's like sometimes it can feel a little more fast paced maybe. But really if you're watching the game and you're thinking about the game critically, you see that there's a skill gap between the two leagues.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
and also with college football you see the same teams every single year. And then sometimes a new team will get there, like Washington got in this year, but like
Hmm.
they probably ain't gonna win it. So I mean, it gets a little
here,
repetitive in college.
here's my problem. And here's the first thing I tell people. I've had this argument a few times with family members, friends, or whatever. In college football, you're lucky to get like 3 or 4 good games. Everything else you get is going to be a blowout. Everything else will be a blowout. Look, and because, any given
It's
week you're
true.
going to have, Alabama, like Alabama played Chattanooga this year. And every school does that, but you have these every week. And then you have shitty conference teams. Like we got
Vandy just gets killed.
right, Vandy. We had Texas A&M, Mississippi State, where Texas A&M killed him. Like that's an SEC game, and he's getting killed. So that's the first thing. The NFL, you're going to have so many good games every week. If you watch the red zone, there's sometimes where there's 7 one-score games in the fourth quarter. You don't get that too often in college. And then the skill
Mm-hmm.
gap. And I don't want to hate on a player because, Quentin Johnston, how good was he at TCU?
Pretty good.
That boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now in the NFL, he's just an average receiver. Obviously, he has a problem with the drops and everything, but it's just a different league. No, like the skill gap is so
Mm.
crazy. Alameda Zaccheaus, the Eagles' third or fourth receiver, the way you look at it, could go be wide receiver one. Like Ben, he'll be wide receiver one on the Gators. Wouldn't even be close.
Well, yeah.
So
My
Ben, what's
thing
your argument?
it my thing is that it's a lot more fun to watch college games because like we saw was it this week who the Vikings and the Raiders, the final score was 3-0. Okay. And the week before that, the Patriots and Chargers played, and that was 6-0. And mostly this season, there's been a lot of duds where it's like, it's been close games, but they haven't been fun to watch. They've been like also this week, what was it, the Jets and Texans, they had every single drive in the first half was a punt. Like, I don't really understand what's like fun to watch about that, but and in college, it is like talent gap obviously is different, but there's a lot more like high scoring games like how LSU was playing this year. A lot of shootouts. Those are more fun to watch for like a fan's perspective, depending on how what you like. And hold on, let me see. Good example of because like the offenses this year especially haven't really been too like crazy good. I mean, obviously the Dolphins and all, but man, where is it? But this year, like the offense hasn't been too crazy good, like in recent years. But college, it's like the more fun to watch the games and the atmosphere is so much better. Like when you go to
All right,
college
let me ask you
games, you
this.
get like tailgating is
Tell tell me this. We're Florida fans. What Florida games did you enjoy watching?
Tennessee, South Carolina. FSU was fun to watch. It was a competitive game. Um, what else? Missouri was a good one to watch. Uh, I don't, what other games were there that we had?
South
Uh,
Carolina was forgot that one.
that was probably the best game of the year, that in Tennessee. But
Right. But you just named about 6 games. We
it's
played
more
12
like
of them.
going to, okay.
Also, I mean, like in the NFL, it's just so much more of like a. There's just so much more strategy in the NFL game. Like you'll watch a college game and neither team will stop each other the whole time.
But
And
isn't
then,
that
but
that's
you'll
fun to
watch an
watch though?
NFL game, you can watch adjustments be made and teams will go on runs and teams will make comebacks and you'll find there'll be patterns in the game. In college, it's just pretty, you can watch the first quarter of most college games and you know what's going to happen the rest of the game.
Okay. But here's, because I remember watching this game. I think it was either Gardner Minshew was the QB at Washington State, or it was the year after where they were playing UCLA and Washington State was up, I think, 48-17 in the third quarter, and UCLA came back and won like the Pac-12, like um what was this, what's they call it, Pac-12, like under the lights or whatever, and like all those crazy
Pac-12
comebacks.
after dark.
Yeah, after dark, that's what it was.
Oh,
Because also in college you get a different aspect where like you have 18 to 21-year-olds that make stupid mistakes, and that's part of the game and why I feel like college is better because there's that like nuance where I'm a what's the word? Like there's more prone for mistakes where in the NFL there isn't a lot of like boneheaded plays, but it makes it kind of like more predictable and boring. While college you can have anything happen at all. Like we saw, it wasn't really a bonehead play by the player, but Iowa played, I think it was in Minnesota, and Iowa had a punt return for a touchdown late in the game, and it got called for a fair catch, even though he didn't call for a fair catch. But you would never really see that in the NFL. But in college, the refs are also a bit less they're not as good as like NFL refs are. So there's that special like these crazy moments that you'd never see anywhere else.
But here's the problem with
yeah,
what
I
you just
mean, I
said.
get what you're
You, you
saying.
just you just described a shitty product, man.
But
Like
that's what makes it fun
you
though,
just
because like
but but is it better than the like it's more you enjoy watching that better? The NFL, the slogan is any given Sunday because any Sunday the Bears just beat the
Right.
Lions on Sunday. Like that can happen. There's upsets in college football, yes, but not like the NFL. The NFL, the worst team in the league, but in week 3, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, and look what the Cowboys are looking like now.
Exactly. I mean, if there's a single upset for like an entire week in college football, if anyone in the top 10 loses, it's a big deal. Like the next week, the Niners could get blown out by whoever they play, and everyone would be like, "Oh, okay, we'll just see next week." Like it's just it happens every Sunday. Every Sunday, there's just better games. You never know what's gonna happen. When Alabama goes to play Vanderbilt, you know damn well who's gonna win, and it's gonna be by 40, 50.
okay,
I think overall though, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a little bit more dynamic. It's there's definitely some stuff to love about college football. I think the biggest thing for me is like I feel like you love the players more in college football. Like I personally can talk for LSU. Like when my dudes are out there and you're watching them, you feel a little more connected to the players. But I think overall, if you're just looking to show somebody the sport of football and the better product, you got to go to the professionals.
All right.
Right. I got one more
But
thing.
yeah, anything else y'all want to say?
I got one more. This is like
Mm.
Carrie touched on earlier, the coaching, and when you look at it, watch an NFL team in the first half and the end of the game with 2 minutes or less. The way they move the ball, the
Yeah,
2 minute drill they have there, you'll never see that in college. Billy Napier, if he gets the ball 2 minutes, he's running that clock out.
Hmm. Yeah.
that's definitely true.
All right.
All right, y'all good on that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So
Let's
next
see.
order is Draymond Green.
Ah, hell no.
How, like, will
Hey, I'll
this ever
start.
change, do you think?
I'll start
Like,
on
at,
this
at
one.
some point, it's starting to get just, it's not even like funny. It's just more
All
like,
right,
why are you still
so
doing this? You're
what
35 years old.
what I've been saying about this is I feel like Draymond's just in over his head. Like, so if you know how the league works and how GMs construct rosters, every single team who wants to be anything is going to have someone they consider their enforcer, just
Mm.
someone who's willing to fight, willing to put their body on the line, willing to foul somebody when they need to. And I think Draymond's just been in that role so long that he's just kind of got too into it where he kind of forgets like to be a normal person.
Mm.
He's like, I gotta go, 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 go. And then at this point, he's just ruining 30, 30. He's 35 years old. Steph Curry, like you don't know how many more years he's going to want to play basketball or be playing at this level. And Draymond Green's over here punching Jordan Poole, who was supposed to be the future. And ever since he got punched, Jordan Poole has not been the same player. It's,
Mm.
he's hurt his team. He's supposed to be a guy the league looks for to be a guy who's been around forever that they can trust to put in front of people, be marketable. But I mean, he looks like a dumbass out there doing the shit he does.
Yeah.
Right. The most frustrating
Yep.
thing with Draymond is, and when an incident happened with Nurkic, I like the tweets or whatever. There's some funny stuff. But I was really thinking about it today. It's sad at this point because Draymond is such a unique player that we rarely see. Like, oh,
All right,
sorry,
we were talking about
we had a
Draymond.
little technical. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulty. We had to edit
Technical
some stuff out.
difficulties.
Yeah, my
But
internet went out.
Yep.
so what I was saying before our difficulties was it's almost sad at this point because Draymond's such a unique player, and the way he plays is so different. He's such a great, intelligent basketball mind. Where they had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, all in their primes, and they were running the offense through Draymond. Draymond's not the most athletic. He's not a great shooter. He's not a great ball handler, but he's so intelligent and knows how to play the game the right way that he was facilitating everything. He's a great defender, an all-time defender. Honestly, in my personal
Mm.
opinion, he should be a Hall of Fame player. But now, in the past 2 years, he
Sure.
punched his own teammate
Yep.
and sent him out of town. His teammate that was supposed to be the future. He stepped on Sabonis in the playoffs and got suspended a game. Then he choked Rudy Gobert, got
Right.
suspended for 5. And then now he did this and he's suspended indefinitely and has to go to counseling and everything. We indefinitely community thing. He could be back next week. We might not see him for the rest of the year. We may not see him ever, which I hope not. But just his antics,
Yeah.
he's gonna be remembered as a guy who got suspended in the finals and that had to miss a game. He's gonna be remembered as the guy who stepped on Sabonis,
Swung the
who choked
series too.
Gobert, who's always doing stuff. And it's terrible because he was such a great player for what Golden State did. And like an incredible player
Mm.
with what he was doing with his basketball mind. Even that year where
Right.
they made the play in and they weren't great, Draymond was a big part of that team. Draymond was producing. And that's what Draymond's not producing this year. And obviously he's older. But they need him now more than ever, especially with Clay falling off and not being as good, with Kaminga not taking his step, with Chris Paul. Chris Paul's look good off the bench, but he's showing his age. He really can't even score anymore. they needed Draymond, and then he got
Yeah,
suspended for 5. I'm sorry, I saw it earlier. I could be wrong. He played the 6 games, got suspended for 5. No, he played 9 games, got suspended for 5. Then he played another 6. Now he's suspended indefinitely. So that's not what they need, and it's sad for for a great player.
Yeah.
yeah. And Ben, before you talk, I want to add one more thing. Everything off the court has shown that Draymond's a really good dude. And like personally, I'm a huge Draymond Green fan. Like that's my guy. Um, but I mean, it kind of just sucks to see him. Like I don't know. I never want to assume there's nothing going on in the man's life, but damn, it's hard not to kind of feel like he don't got something else going on where he's just not really thinking straight in these moments when he gets mad and kind of just acts impulsively. And it just
Hmm.
sucks to see Steph, man. Like Steph, one of the best to ever do it, arguably the best point guard ever. And he's in the twilight years of his career. And you got Draymond, who's supposed to really play point guard for that team, and he's just suspended the whole time just because he can't
Yeah.
stay out of his own way.
Yeah, I think so because I feel like this is probably the last season where they can be competitive in the West with everything. Because like
Yeah,
last year with all that turmoil, they still did they take the Lakers to 7 or is it like 6 games?
6, 6.
Because
I
I
thought it
knew it was
was, I think it was
6, yeah,
6.
because it was competitive, and that team went all the way to the conference finals, where they ultimately did run out of gas against the champions. But I feel like if Draymond Green does get his stuff together and comes back, and Clay and kind of like gets back into his form, they can make a. I'm not saying they win the championship, but they can make a run to the conference finals maybe. So they really need
Yeah,
Draymond to get his stuff together.
I
Where,
think this is it for this core, bruh.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to try to retool around Steph just because he's still a superstar. But
mm,
I mean, he's probably, I don't know, what's he, 35?
uh,
So I mean,
Yeah.
best case scenario, you're getting 3 elite years out of him.
yeah,
And you got to at least try to put some around him to compete. But I mean, the West is coming up. You can't keep riding out with Clay and Draymond. Draymond can't stay out of his way, and Clay's clearly on the
it's not,
decline after all them injuries.
Really?
yeah,
If I was
yeah.
Mike
Curry's
Dunleavy
36
Jr.,
in March.
the tough thing is, and it's going to be tough, but maybe he can do it because he's not Bob Myers where he has these relationships with people. You got to make a big change at the deadline to maximize having Steph Curry on your team. Like, Clay.
Mm,
Right.
It's sad to say Clay's never going to be that guy again. Never going to be who he was. And Wiggins, I don't know what's going on with Wiggins, but Wiggins has been bad this year.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
One of the
you got to try to maximize.
you got
And
it
I don't know if they're ever going to have a player better than Steph Curry. I highly doubt it. You got to maximize this while you have it.
right.
mm,
And what other thing that gets overlooked just because they drafted so well is in the first round they have not drafted well recently. I mean, you got James Wiseman, who's obviously been very
not even on the
disappointing. You got
team.
Moses Moody's rotational, but I mean, he's not a star, but he's good. That's not a bad pick. And then Kuminga, was he number 4 overall? And I mean,
Oh,
No,
was he
I
he's
that
think
had
he
high?
some
was like
games,
6.
6,
Plus,
but yeah, I mean, another high draft pick where, I mean, he's had some solid games, but he has not looked like the future you want him to be. And then
mm,
Jordan Poole was supposed to be the dude. He showed flashes in the playoffs, but Draymond ran him out of town.
yeah,
Yeah, he seemed to lost his confidence. So, y'all got
yeah.
anything else on that?
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so, dude. All right. Well, then next up is how do we feel about the NBA in-season tournament? How do you think? Was it a success? Was it a
Yeah,
failure?
you want to start?
Yeah. I think it was a great success by far. They had me personally. I mean, I watch a lot, pretty much I watch basketball every night. I watch random teams, my teams, but they had me like really tuned in on in-season tournament days more than normal. It was very entertaining. We had to change the
Mm,
court stuff. I don't love the courts, but the basketball itself was cool. I actually, I actually like the point differential. So a lot of people don't, but I like it. I like the idea of trying to run that score up at the end, trying to get as many points as possible. My only critique would be I want more group play games. Just so we saw where it was like 5
Yeah.
teams that were trying to compete to get in, and this team had to win by 21, and you're fouling Andre Drummond. Give us 8 to 9 games, which is more in-season tournament games, and then you go to the playoffs. I love the playoffs. I love the single elimination. You got great moments already. You got Halliburton hitting the game winner, doing the Dame time, and then you got LeBron just being the greatest of all time. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was great. It was, I mean, we all knew once Braun got in that thing, if Braun got a chance to add something to his legacy in year 21, whatever it is, he gonna do it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I agree. I think more group play games. Also, it just kind of snuck up on us. Like, it was like, with the in-season tournaments, games were happening every couple nights. And like, if you watch basketball, you would just watch a game and it'd be like, why is the court purple? And then it just kind of showed up, and then suddenly it was like, here are the final 4 teams. It feels like those group play games, they can make them a little more structured. So like you have in-season tournament nights where all the games are in-season tournament, and then you have more nationally televised games, and you just make it to where it's a little more convenient for the watcher to follow along during those plays, because you're not keeping up with the standings. Like even me, who's like locked in on the NBA, it just kind of stuck up me. I was like, oh, the Pelicans I think we needed Sacramento to beat the Warriors by something to get in, and then it was just like that night, and then we were in. It was just kind of like I wasn't even ready for all that. So
Mm.
yeah, I think more group play games and structure it better. But overall, to get some fire hoops like that, some playoff level basketball this early was super success. The bald man did it again.
Oh man, it's over. Yeah, I would say for me personally, I wish I watched a little bit more, but my team, I don't think we won a game in the play in-season tournament. But like the Elite Eight and the Final Four part, those are some real good games. That was probably the first time I watched the NBA since opening night for the Bulls, and I think in the future it's definitely gonna put a lot more young players on the pedestal like they did with Halliburton. Now
Yeah.
after that, people are talking about him being a top 5, maybe top 3 point guard in the league. So I think in the future that's going to be a really big emphasis on like hyping up players that make a deep run because like no one really thought the Pacers were going to make the run all the way to the championship like that. But now
Yeah.
that since then they're kind of put on the East has been put on watch a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely good. And are they?
I liked it a lot. It was cool.
Yeah. Isn't there an idea also for like a tournament to, like for the lottery, like the pick one or whatever?
They always kind of flirted with that idea. I don't know. I don't think the owners have ever voted on something like that,
Mm,
but there's always been rumors of something to change up the lottery a little bit. I don't think they'll ever do it, but
yeah.
maybe one
Yeah.
day. And
Okay.
then one thing to
Shit, man.
add, um, for all of our kind of sports watching, Ben is more football and baseball. Me and
Yeah.
Ant are more basketball with a little bit of football. Ant knows more about baseball than me. But yeah, Ben is the baseball man. Ben is
Hmm.
definitely knows more football than me and Ant, but me and
Yeah.
Ant know more ball than Ben Johnson. So
Oh yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how our
So
fandom breaks down.
we're trying to get Ben Johnson to lock in on the NBA with us. I'm not saying you don't got to watch your other sports, but NBA hoops, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's the
was
number
logging into
one
the
league for
playoffs.
me. But yeah,
Also though, I
what
just
else we
want
got, Ben?
well, I just got a notification. Giannis, the Bucks beat the Pacers tonight, and Giannis had 64
Oh my God.
on
64? Hold on.
14 on 71% shooting.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
I just saw that and we
oh,
needed to talk.
I got to look at these stats.
Dame
Holy
had
hell, bro.
22, but besides that, no one crazy.
I mean, shit,
Hey,
he scored
Giannis says they
64,
still
bro.
run the
He missed
East.
8 shots.
Right,
Yeah,
bro. He could have had, dude, he missed 8 free throws too. This man could have had 80.
damn.
Right.
14 boards too. Hey, Giannis said the East runs still Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That's that
No,
boy though.
hold on.
All right.
I'm not trying to take it over, but I just want to talk about the Bucks real quick. The Bucks
Hmm.
are they're really scary for me as a Sixers fan because let me get it right. I got it right here. They're 16-7, and they have not figured it out yet.
Not at
Like
all.
That is terrifying.
that's terrifying. That's really terrifying. I just want to
Bro,
say
the
that real quick.
scariest thing with the Bucks is we know Damian Lillard's gonna have a stretch every year where he's averaging 40. If he gets hot
Right.
like that in the playoffs, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap for everybody. Their defense is too good. They can space the floor. If Dame is going, and Giannis is always going to be giving you 30 and 15. If Dame gets going in the playoffs and he's hitting them 40 footers, some crazy stuff, it's
Yeah.
just book it in. Milwaukee's
Yeah.
winning their second championship. But
Right.
yeah, let's move on.
All right. So the next topic kind of was brought up really with just only one clip, but let's talk about Zion for a little bit.
All right, bro. I'll start, bro. That's my boy. All right. So Zion is not obese. People are a little dramatic. I watch Zion every single time. I've watched every single minute Zion has played this year. Um, the biggest problem with Zion is there's nights where he looks like he doesn't feel like hooping. There's nights where he's not boxing nobody out. He's just hoping someone's behind him and help because everyone's blowing past him. He's just kind of passing it up. But Zion's a dude who his whole career when he's played, he's averaged 25 plus on 60% shooting. Zion's problem is effort. Um, he's a big dude, and yeah, he's been slimmer before, but that's not the problem. Like, I mean, when he needs to, he's played 35 minutes. He's played the entire fourth quarter when he needs to. Um, like he's fine. It's just effort. It's the want to. I think it's just like, a lot of it, Zion, he just gets treated differently by the media. Like you have Stephen A. Smith talking about this man eats the whole table. It's just crazy, man. Like he's not a grown man. Like Zion's a good dude, and people treat Zion like he's not 23, 24. Like as a Pelicans fan, I get scared because for us to reach our potential, which is a championship contending team, Zion has to be our superstar because Brandon Ingram's really good, and Brandon Ingram's the perfect number 2 on a championship team, but we need Zion to be on the level of on the superstars. At least get to that Jason Tatum level of player if we want to compete for championships, which he's from his early career, I think he can definitely get there. But I mean, them legs got to stay on him, and he's got to have the want to, which I think he's had a little wake up call, and we'll see. He sat out tonight against Washington with a little sprained ankle, but he'll be right back. He's straight. So I think these next 2 weeks are going to either provide a lot of hope or a lot of despair for Pelicans fans. And I'm excited, but we gonna see, man.
Yeah. Just kind
I
of going off
definitely
what Carrie
think
said.
if
I
with the
watched.
one
Oh, my
two.
fault, man. You got it.
All right. I was just gonna say, yeah, I feel like definitely could be a top 5 player if he just puts it all together. But just depending on if it clicks or not, but just see. You go ahead.
Going off what Carrie said, I've watched a lot of Pelican hoops this year just because they're an interesting team to me. They really are. So so right now they're fully healthy. It's probably the first time all year they've been fully healthy. This is the first time, not probably. But I'm hoping in these next 2 weeks, if they can go on a nice run, I'm hoping Zion really locks in and sees what they have. When Zion's at his best, he's a phenomenal player. Nobody can stop this man. He's throwing people out the way. D'Angelo Russell saying he's out there playing football, stuff like that. And then along with Brandon Ingram, who's a perfect complementary. Brandon Ingram's an all-star. He's a great piece to have by you. You have CJ McCollum who's come back, and I like what he's been doing. His playmaking has just really improved over the years. He can still get a bucket when he needs to. And you got Herb Jones who took a step. Trey Murphy who's coming back from injury, who's looked good. Trey Murphy could be a 20-point per game scorer. He's a great shooter.
He had
I would say
27
that
tonight.
right. I didn't even see that. The Pelicans are in my opinion, the deepest team in the NBA. You got Jordan Hawkins who doesn't even play anymore, who was balling at the start of the season. Got a strap on him. He can come in and give you three straight threes. So I'm excited for this next 2 weeks for the Pelicans. I hope Zion, once he sees what they have, can really lock in and get it together. If this is him being obese and eating the whole table and he scored 37 last game, I'll be scared if he's locked in and in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ben, before you comment, I'm gonna keep going a little bit because it's my team. I love them. We got a stretch coming up of 4 straight games. We just played the Wizards tonight, beat them by 20. But we play Hornets, Spurs, then Grizzlies. So Grizzlies, I think that's the night Ja comes back. So we'll see with that game. That's at home. This is easily a 3-game win streak, and we're right at 17 and 11, probably fourth, fifth seed in the West, and we're right back to just kind of pushing ourselves in there in the West. The West is stacked. We got to keep winning, but we got a stretch coming up. We could really win these next 5, 6. The next really good team we play is the Lakers in a few weeks. So if we can win all these games, then we're right back up there getting talked about as contenders like we should be. But yeah, Ben, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I feel like if he puts it together this year, I'm not saying championship, but at the floor is probably conference finals. Probably
Wow, the
championship, but
floor.
I don't think anyone can beat the Bucks. Yeah, the floor is conference finals. If Zion gets locked in and puts it all together.
Yeah, I definitely think
Shit,
we're
bro.
that caliber team. Like, I think if Zion locks in the next few years, we're competing for a championship.
Yeah,
But just with how stacked the West is, like, we could have a first round matchup against Luca and he just goes off and beats us. Like, it's just kind of how the
Right.
West is. So
Dude,
the
floor is a
floor
bold
is
statement.
playing, but I mean, shit, I hope so. I hope so. I
But the
would do
floor is like,
anything
you're
for a
saying
Pel.
at the minimum, they're going to be in the conference finals.
yeah. If Zion has everything put together, then
I
there
think
shouldn't
what you
be
mean
any.
is if Zion puts everything together, our floor is a top 4 team in the West, which
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Just because anything can happen once you get in the playoffs. But if Zion puts it all together, and we got Herb on a cheap contract, we got Trey's on his rookie deal I think he's about to get paid this summer. But yeah,
what about
you got CJ.
Valanciunas?
But yeah, we'll be a top 4 team in the West if Zion puts it together. I think that's pretty easy to say.
All right. Well, segue into that, we are moving into Anthony's favorite player, Joel Embiid. Holy,
Let, let,
All right, hit it.
he is
let me just say
my.
this.
You think he repeats
Joel
this
Embiid
year?
won the MVP last year, and he is significantly better in every facet of the game than he was last year. Just an incredible player. I'm going to pull these stats up real quick because I don't want to get it wrong. So, it's 11:09 right now. The Sixers game ended like an hour ago. And 31 minutes in just 3 quarters, Joel Embiid gave me 41 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. We're playing the Pistons, but this is don't this is the 5th game this year that Embiid scored over 30 in only 3 quarters because he hasn't had to play in the fourth. Because we're putting B2A about that ass. He's been incredible this year.
Hell yeah.
Right now, I think I don't want to say running away because there's so many great players. Giannis just scored 64. Jokic had some struggles recently, but he's still high up. But Embiid's looked so good recently. And we traded away James Harden, his co-star, and the team looks better. And just talking about the Sixers in general, I'm excited. This may Kelly Oubre, when he's been on the floor before his car accident, we with him coming back, we're 11-1 with Kelly Oubre. We've lost 1 game with Kelly Oubre. That was opening night against the Bucks, where the refs were questionable. Tyrese Maxey's looked fantastic. Not tonight. He
Yeah.
went 1 for 11 tonight. He's been fantastic. Tobias, we know who Tobias is at this point. He's going to be great, or he's not going to. He's going to look like he shouldn't even be in the game at all. But just with everything we have, with the depth we have, Nick Batum's shooting 48 from 3 right now, which I don't know if he's going to shoot 48 the whole year, but he's a good shooter. Robert Covington's looked good. Marcus Morris has looked fantastic off the bench. I'm really excited about what this team has coming.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been on the Sixers bandwagon forever just because Ben Simmons went to LSU, and ever since then I've kind of been pulling for the Sixers, even after he left. But I mean, I think they're right there. I mean, obviously in the East, you got a little bit of a hierarchy just because the Bucks and the Celtics are so good. But I mean, I think at right there behind them is Philly. It's just gonna take. They gotta. You can say on paper the Bucks and the Celtics are better, but they're gonna be in a 7-game series against Philly at some point. They're gonna have to. One team's gonna win 4 games first. You never know. Someone gets hurt.
Right.
I think Philly's right there.
I think
Philly's right there to
I
me.
don't. Here's the big difference. Nick Nurse is willing to make these adjustments, and Nick Nurse. This is going to sound terrible, but when he was with Toronto, we called it a terrorist defense on Twitter. Where when he was the coach and we played him in the playoffs, he's sending 4 or 5 dudes at Joel Embiid. That's on our side now. Joel Embiid is a phenomenal defender. It's honestly disappointing how nobody talks about him in the Defensive Player of the Year. And I know there's other very good candidates. I'm not saying he's a better defender than Gobert or Bam or even AD, but he's a fantastic anchor of the defense. D'Anthony Melton, who I even say, D'Anthony Melton's a phenomenal defender, and offensively, he's the funniest player ever. He's a flamethrower from three, can't make a layup. Tobias is really improved as a defender. Maxey, he's shown improvement. But with Embiid in the middle of that defense, we're going to be a great defense with Nick Nurse, the way he coaches, the way he adjusts to things. I'm so excited. I don't want to think ahead to the playoffs because we got a long road to there. We'll be in there, but this is probably the most confident I've been in a team. Even last year, I'm more confident in this team. I didn't believe in Doc Rivers. I was questionable on James Harden, and then Embiid got hurt. So I'm excited to see what they look like in the playoffs.
Yeah. Ben, what you got? I got a few spark notes about the NBA, but you go. What you think about the Sixers first?
Yeah, Sixers, I do feel like this is the year. Not sure if to make it to the finals, but first step is you gotta make it to the conference finals, and I feel like what are the standings right now? Y'all are the 4 seed,
4.
so
The
it'd be
standings
you
are going to
versus
be so
Boston
important
right
this
now.
year, bro. You gotta hope you don't have to play Bucks and Celtics. You gotta hope you're on the opposite side of the bracket and you get to just play one of them conference finals.
Yeah. I do feel like though the way it's gonna shape up, y'all will have to place either one, because they're probably gonna be 1 and 2 unless y'all sneak in and
Yeah.
get up to number 2.
I mean,
To get in the
anything
finals,
can
you're going
happen.
to have to
We're
play
only
and be
we're only
one.
2 games back from the Celtics right now as the 4 seed. Anything can happen. I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if the
Yeah.
Sixers were the 1 seed this year.
It's
I do feel
possible,
like
man.
the Celtics are probably easier to beat than the Bucks would be. So,
Nah. I think it's
I
the other
don't
way
know,
around.
bro. Both those teams are
really?
so good, bro.
Yeah.
Those are some damn good basketball teams, man.
All 3 teams are
You
just
got
incredible in their
Orlando as
own
a
way.
3 seed right now.
Oh, Orlando's not. Stop.
Orlando's definitely going to fall back a little bit, but
They're making the
They'll be
playoffs,
in
but
there.
maybe it's a 6 or 7 seed. Yeah,
yeah.
they'll be in there, but
I mean, they might stick around at 4 or 5. We'll see.
Hmm.
But long way to go. Shit, we're only like 23 games in.
yeah.
All right, quick little spark notes. Will the Pistons ever win a basketball game? Probably
No.
not.
Hey
They're
man, they
so
go to
bad.
Philly next game.
Oh God.
They're about to get killed. Let's see. When do they play somebody terrible? Don't
Spurs.
play.
That
When's that Spurs game?
I think it's
Dude,
like
I,
They
I
don't
three
think the
play the
weeks.
Spurs are way
Spurs
better than
It's
they
been a
are,
while.
until
dude.
Yeah, like the Spurs always have been playing close.
yeah. They don't play the Spurs till January 10th. They might not win a game until January 10th.
Dude.
And
But I'm
then
not
maybe that's a
if they play
toss
the
up. The
Spurs,
Spurs
bro,
Spurs got more talent.
Vassell all it takes is Vassell just to torch some boys or Keldon Johnson. Obviously you have Wemby. Like like I'm confidently saying right now they're gonna be worse than that 9-win Sixers team.
Dude,
Oh
I mean
yeah.
they might be worse than that Bobcats team, who's like the worst,
Right.
who had like the
Yeah, it's
worst
seven
win
and
percentage ever.
59.
I mean, they don't have anything. I mean, even Cade's been,
Just
he's
empty
been
stats,
cool,
really.
but he's shooting. This man's 6'10", shooting 42% from the field. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then Cade's
But
young.
the,
He's gonna figure it out.
in
But
K's defense, just out watching Pistons games, because I'm tuning into these games because it's shocking how they've lost this many games. There's no spacing on that quarter. When Duran was healthy, they had Duran, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes. all these
Ew.
guys starting, not great shooters. So Cade,
Ew.
he's trying to get it to the mid range, but no one's respecting Killian Hayes from three.
Hell no.
Sir
Like,
Thompson
Even
getting his shit.
Jaden Ivey's not a very good shooter neither. He's all right, but
shit, Monty Williams doesn't even
they
want to
they
play
have
him.
some positives though. I mean, they can build around Cade and Duran. Duran looks solid. Duran's gonna be a
Yeah.
good center. But I mean, no, they're terrible. And then I was about to say one other thing. I think I might have forgot. Oh, BI had 40 tonight.
Oh
Just
yeah.
thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm good. If y'all ready to move on.
All
Hey,
right.
Spurs almost beat the Lakers. I didn't beat this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wimby
the
going
Spurs
crazy.
play close games.
Yeah, I
Where
was
do
about
you
to
Pistons get
rank
say
that.
Wimby right
Wimby.
now? And
Rank Wimby
And
like
what?
in what? Overall players or rookie of the year?
yeah, is he like top 30, top 40?
Yes.
Honestly, bro, I can't think of that off the top of my head. Like
Okay.
I
he's
can't,
really good,
but
but I'd have to
I'm
like
just
see a
saying yes
list of
confidently.
players.
I mean, I'm sure you could really look into it, but with what he's working with and what he's produced and some of the flashes he's shown, I
Yeah.
think is. I still think he's the second
You
best
could think
rookie
of
this
like a
year.
range. Let me
Who's
think. I
one?
I
mean,
was
is he
30 to 1 in the NBA, like the
Chet's
best
been
player. Yeah, Chet's number one and rookie of
No,
the year.
not
rookie.
rookie of the year? Chet's been so
Chet.
good.
Okay, Chet. Yeah.
Let's think. All right, who's a player who's like on a similar level to Wimby, you think? Is he better than Derek White?
Yes.
Derek
I
White
don't
is
know.
so good.
Well, he's more talented than Derek White. He's going to be a better player than Derek White, but the way Derek White impacts winning and the stuff he does, honestly,
hmm
obviously it's not true, but Derek White's a dude. How many times does it feel like you've seen him miss? Not very often.
I don't think he's ever missed a clutch three. Him and Al
Hmm.
Horford have never missed a three in the fourth quarter.
He's never turned the ball over.
Never. Is he I don't know. But Wemby's good. Wemby's real good. He's gonna be a superstar.
Yeah.
I'm all in on the Wemby
Yeah.
hype train.
Is he gonna be an all-star,
Right.
do you think, with the fan vote?
This year,
Yeah.
in the West, off the top of my
I don't
head,
know.
probably not. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's gonna have to get in front court. You got Zion, Anthony Davis, Jokic just popping in my head
Bron.
immediately. So
It's East and West now
Bron.
again, so
Dude,
yeah, so
this is
it's gonna be tough, but we'll see.
watching the Spurs. I watched a lot of Spurs ball this year just for Wemby. I was kind of all in on the Sohan experiment just because it was cool. It was fun. It actually
I
looked all right. When
remember.
they beat the Suns, he had like a 9 assist game. Dog, put Trey
Hmm.
Jones in the starting lineup, please. Do it for Wemby, bro.
yeah.
I've seen
Trey
so
Jones
many
is a
times
good point guard, bro.
Sohan has the ball running down the or Wemby's running down the court. Sohan's not looking at him. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I like Jeremy Sohan, but it's hurting his development playing point guard too. Put him at his position, but he's
Nah,
still a
bro.
starter. Sohan's a good player.
And the shit is though, like he plays the four, and like, okay, he's not a point guard, but like as a defending, I mean, not he's shooting the three pretty well this year. So I mean, I guess you could say as a defending, floor spacing, rim attacking four, like I mean, who can also pass the ball, then he becomes a
Right, who can handle
career
the ball.
role player. But he's not your point guard.
Right. He's going to guard the other team's
Like
best player
you
every
know,
night.
you don't gotta force him into this role, point guard, man. Let Trey Jones handle the rock. All right, man. What else we got?
All right, next is probably was the best player in the league last year, Nikola Jokic, and his early season struggles. How personally, I
more
don't
like
think it's
Well,
that big of a
sweet.
deal.
It's not even early season struggles. He just struggled the past 2 games. He was killing the beginning of the season. And his stats
Yeah.
are still phenomenal. But it's just,
Yeah.
he struggled the past 2 games. Well, the 2 games before
He had a
last one
few
when he got
games where he
ejected.
shot terrible from the field and they lost.
Hmm.
Shot what are these games? He went 9 for 32 and then he went 9 for 26 in back-to-back losses.
But I'm not necessarily concerned.
I mean, yeah,
He's a great player. He's not going to shoot 9 for 32 every night. And then he'll turn it around.
yeah. No, I think this is a quick topic. Jokic is gonna be straight, man.
Yeah.
Jokic is the best player in basketball until proven otherwise as of now.
Hmm.
Even in those nights he was bad, he had a triple-double, 15 and 10 one night, and then the other night he has 16 boards. Like
Yeah.
he's that boy, man. He'll be all right.
Okay.
I was thinking,
So
Ben, I'm
next
just looking at the
topic
outline real
is
quick. I was thinking maybe we should do save the one that's next and the last one for next episode. We just go right to Otani, and we can make a whole episode out of those next two.
all right, bet. All right, so next one is Shohei Ohtani and his mega contract to LA Dodgers.
All right, Ben, you start, Mr. Baseball.
All right, so I think first off, the highway robbery the Dodgers got away with deferring $680 million after the contract is insane because now, I mean, there wasn't a salary cap to begin with in baseball, but to only be paying the best player on the planet $2 million a year is criminal. Like that should not be allowed. They will be paying. It will probably come back to bite them well down the road, but right
For sure.
now, obviously, Dodgers are the World Series favorites. I think maybe
So
they
they're the favorites every
slip
year,
up
man.
one year, but I don't think that's going to be this year. At the very least, they're going to the World Series, and we're going to see the best player in the game on the biggest stage, which is real exciting for baseball.
As one of the biggest Dodger haters in the world, I'll go next. It's baseball, bro. Like, you got to win the series. You got Otani, but like, dude, baseball is so random. They might play the
Right.
Diamondbacks again, and Ketel Marte hits 5 home runs over the series, and they win again. Like, it's just
Bro, baseball.
they
Baseball.
they
We
stack
say
the
all the time
roster
that
every
basketball,
year, but
it's a game of runs, but baseball, oh my God, it's a game of who's hot. Good Lord.
hmm that's just who wins it all, bro. It's just whose bats are rolling and whose starting pitchers are getting calls.
Right.
So,
I just feel like the
That's
Dodgers have the most
like
depth
Alec Thomas. The
in the
reason they beat the
league.
Phillies because Alec Thomas was going nuts. Ketel Marte hit like 400 in the series. Like, good Lord. Like,
mm,
it's so unpredictable. They can get into there, just like what happened last year. Mookie, Shohei, and Freddie can all get cold because it happens to everyone. And then they're playing the
mhm.
83 win Phillies in the NLDS, and Trey Turner hit 5 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, it was like you just watched that Astros series last year. The road team won every game. Like, that's insane, bro. Like, that just doesn't happen in major professional sports. It's we gonna see. I mean, I love Otani,
Yeah, I feel
so
like
Yeah.
because the one time in his career where he's been under the brightest lights was the World Baseball Classic, and that was probably the greatest run any player has had in recent memory.
no, I'm
For
all betting on Otani.
yeah,
Oh, for
That's my
sure.
guy.
I
I'm
saw
all
one
in.
thing where
I'm a
it's
Dodger
if they don't
hater,
win three
but
World Series,
not my fault, man. You got it.
I saw something saying if they don't win three World Series in this contract, it is considered a failure. And I might
That's
go out there and
dramatic.
say maybe they could sneak in a fourth because Freddie and Mookie Betts are a bit on the older side of 30, but they still have Dodgers have a crazy ass farm system. They always seem to find like veterans like Jason Hayward and JD Martinez this year. They were left for
Yeah,
dead like probably in like February. No one thought they were gonna do anything, but they turned in. JD was an all-star and Jason Hayward hit like 280, I think.
yeah. I mean, the other thing with the Dodgers, bro, is like they're not gonna stop buying all the superstars that they
Yeah,
can. Like next year, they're gonna add 2 more superstars. That's just kind of how baseball works. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, what makes it kind of even out is baseball is baseball. You can have what the Braves had the best hitting lineup of all time this year in the regular season, and these dudes score like 8 runs over a whole series.
yeah,
Like, it's just shit happens, bro. You got to play the games in baseball. I mean, they might not win a single ring with Otani. They might win every single one of them. I don't know.
yeah.
But I mean,
I get that, but also the Dodgers have something the Braves don't, and that's pitching depth. Because they got Clayton Kershaw, who I'm not sure if he keeps it up this year, but they have Bobby Miller, who was their second best pitcher. He was 24, and I don't know what
he's
the
gonna be
dudes' names
good.
are, but they have I think two or three pitching
Is
Is Dustin
prospects.
Urias
May
still
going to be
there?
able to pitch this year?
Hmm?
Is Dustin May going to be able to pitch this year?
Uh, I'm I'm assuming yes, but probably not like at the start of the year. He might be out for a
And
month or two.
Otani's not pitching at all this year.
And I've also
Yeah,
seen rumors saying Yamamoto, the pitcher the from Japan, might go there, and
No, no,
Roki
he has a meeting
Sasaki
with
is
the
also
Phillies.
trying to.
All I'm saying is they love Bryce Harper in Japan. Come on.
Okay, but yeah, also Roki Sasaki, the 21-year-old pitcher,
oh
he's
yeah,
being rumored to
he
to
was raw
get.
as hell in MLB this show.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he has enough. I think he has to play in Japan for like another 3 years before he can get posted though.
Well, that's his thing. He's fighting to where, like what Otani did, where I forget what he actually did, but by sometime in the next like 2, 3 weeks, what the deadline is for the Japan team to like do his contract or whatever, he can like request to get released, so he doesn't have to do the full
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 years and
Got
be
this man on a
25.
military contract.
we'll
Yeah,
see what happens.
yeah,
Yeah, we gonna
and
let it
he's supposed to be
ride.
better than Yamamoto, so that would be a huge get for whoever it is.
He's going through like an 117 mile per hour sinker, and that will be the show.
Exactly.
Man, this boy was raising hell in the game. That was like what was the dude in MLB the show? Eduardo Cabrera, bro. Oh my God, I used to fear this man while I
Eduardo,
played.
oh my
Oh
God,
no.
bro. Bro, that damn sinker, bro. You were just done for. You couldn't hit it.
Always those random ass players too.
Hey, bro,
He's
if you're like
so
a
inconsistent
22
for the
year
Marlins
old,
in real life.
22-year-old, you throw like a 96 mile per hour sinker in real life, bro. MLB the show is about to give you the most insane
Huh.
card ever.
Did
I
we
wonder
hit
when.
it all today?
I think
Yeah,
so.
bro, I
Yeah.
think so. All right.
We
Let
want
me
to
just say
continue.
this real quick. This is the
Mm.
first episode that like we did no practice or anything. We're right into it. I don't know how it's gonna sound when I go back. I'm pretty sure my mic might be delayed or something. If I look crazy in the video, if
It
anybody is
definitely
watching,
is.
Yeah.
yeah, I was noticing that.
Come
So
on, man.
sorry for that. We're working through everything. We'll figure it out for the next one. Probably should practice, but it was fun, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll do it again.
Great time. I think we just hit the
All
hour
right,
mark.
y'all. We'll catch y'all
Yeah.
boys next week. If
All
there's
right.
a single person watching, come back next week. We're ready to go.
So,
All right.
somehow my mic's not gonna be delayed. I promise.